No one imagined that Taehyung and Jungkook's small step on a deserted road in Japan would turn into the most controversial, most talked about, and most confusing moment of the end of 2025. That night, the Tokyo air was so cold that the breath looked like white smoke. But it was precisely that silence that made every detail so vividly recorded by people who accidentally witnessed one of the two BTS members' most mysterious movements. There are no official cameras, no large bodyguards who usually surround them, and no signs that these two global superstars are in the scheduling of activities. There were only two men in dark hoodies, masks, and a way of walking that was all too familiar to anyone who had followed them for the past 10 years. First, fans believed they were seeing hallucinations. How could Taehyung and Jungkook, two BTS members who are under complicated pressure due to various rumors, walk alone on a side street of Yoyogi district without any security? But when someone dares to take out the phone and zoom in on the camera, the doubt collapses. That's really them. From that moment on, the internet exploded. But what the cameras captured that night was just the beginning. No one knew what happened after they disappeared in that dark corner. Until finally a new witness appeared and unraveled the story that left the entire army speechless. According to the original testimony leaked in the Japanese fan community, after passing through the main road, Taehyung and Jungkook stopped at a small park behind the old building. There were no lights, only the dim reflection of an old vending machine that seemed to be the only witness to the meeting. The witness, a Japanese man who lived nearby, said he initially heard only a quiet conversation in Korean, but the intonation of the voice was immediately familiar. One deep, soft, full of control. Another light, but tired sounding. It was both of them, and the first sentence that sounded exactly made him freeze in place. "Hyung, are you sure you want to talk about this here?" Jungkook's voice was quiet, almost whispering. Taehyung sighed before replying, "No place is really safe. But at least here, no one is chasing us." The witness said he didn't understand what was going on, but Taehyung's tone sounded like someone who had kept a burden for too long and was finally no longer able to bear it. They sat on a cold wooden bench, and although the witness kept his distance, he could feel the tension like electricity in the air. Then Taehyung said something that left Jungkook speechless for a very long time, as if the world stopped breathing at the same time. "I'm tired of always being misunderstood, especially when things don't go the way they should," Taehyung said, looking down and clasping his own hand. Jungkook wanted to calm down, but he also seemed to be struggling with his own thoughts. The camera from a distance recorded the movement, the way Jungkook straightened up, the way he looked at Taehyung with a mixture of worry and anger at the situation they were in, not at Taehyung. The witness said that Jungkook finally said in a more assertive voice than usual, "We can't go on like this, Hyung. If we keep quiet, people will think all the rumors are true. We should talk, but not now." The report said that Taehyung just smiled a little smile that was never shown in front of the camera because it was too honest, too full of hurt. Then there was a long pause before Taehyung finally looked at Jungkook and said something that completely changed the narrative that had been developing on the internet. "You know, I always believed in you, right? It doesn't matter what happens," he said quietly, almost like a confession coming out not from a global idol, but from an old friend who finally revealed something that had been kept. The witness said that he really did not feel appropriate to hear the conversation, but his body seemed to be fixed in place. That moment felt like something the world shouldn't have heard, yet at the same time, like a truth that finally came out after a long period of endless rumors, drama, and accusations. After that, Jungkook stood up and stared at the Japanese night sky, filled with light fog. "If this continues, someone has to start talking. And if not us, who else?" he said in a voice that slowly hardened. Taehyung nodded slowly. "But if we talk, we know the risks." Jungkook approached her, patted her shoulder, and held her for a while. "The biggest risk is losing yourself, Hyung. The moment lingers, too long to feel like a scene intentionally made for a movie. But witnesses swear that there were no cameras, no production crew, and no artificial setting. It's real. Two guys who have known each other since adolescence, holding each other by the shoulders, are trying to find a way out of the shadow of constantly accumulating rumors. After that, only then did the most surprising part of this story appear. According to additional reports submitted by others who saw them a few minutes later, Taehyung and Jungkook left the park with more steady steps. They didn't talk much, but their expressions changed. More assertive, more prepared, as if the conversation were opening a door that had been tightly closed. They walked toward the black car waiting at the end of the road. There was no great security, only one driver recognized them immediately. Taehyung enters first, followed by Jungkook. But before the door closed, someone saw Jungkook say quietly, "It's not over yet." Then the car drove off, disappearing into the main road, leaving witnesses now unsure whether they had just seen two global stars or two mere mortals struggling to maintain something far greater than fame. And since that night, rumor after rumor has sprung up. Some said the conversation was related to BTS's big comeback plan for next year. There are also those who believe they're preparing a major clarification to defuse the long drama involving their names. But there were also those who felt that both of them were just looking for space to breathe, something that had been difficult for them to get. Clearly, whatever they talked about that night, one thing was certain. Taehyung and Jungkook were no longer in a passive position. They look ready to step into the next chapter, clear up the fog covering their steps, and perhaps, for the first time in a long time, take back control of their own life stories. But what happened a few hours later makes this story even more unbelievable. A hotel employee in Shinjuku reported that Taehyung arrived first, getting out of the car with a face that was no longer as agitated as before. He walked in with steady steps, gave a small salute to the staff, and went straight to the elevator without turning his head. But what intrigued the witness was a thin black bracelet hanging from his hand, one that Jungkook had previously been seen wearing on camera on Yoyogi Street. Is that a coincidence? Or was it something they deliberately exchanged that night as a sign of a decision that had already been taken? Not long after, Jungkook arrived at a different hotel, and witnesses described his expression as someone who had just finished something heavy. He sat for a long time on the lobby sofa, looking blankly at the entrance, as if waiting for something or someone. Another witness even said that Jungkook opened a memo on his phone several times, wrote something down, and then deleted it again, like someone who struggles to string together sentences that should not be wrong in the slightest. Rumors are growing that Jungkook is likely preparing a statement, not for the company, but for himself, and possibly for Taehyung as well. Not stopping there, a report appeared from an employee of a 24-hour cafe near Taehyung Hotel who claimed to have seen two HYBE staff members arriving in a hurry that night. They were seen discussing something while continuing to check messages on mobile phones, and one of them said in a frantic voice, "If they really decide that, we're in big trouble." The sentence simply slid, but it was enough to provoke huge speculation in cyberspace. What problems do they mean? What decision made the staff so anxious? Some insiders began to hint that Taehyung and Jungkook's conversation that night was not just about rumors floating around, but about a big move they had been putting up with due to corporate pressure and public opinion. Some said the two considered appearing together in an exclusive interview. Others claimed they wanted to release clarifications together without going through agency filters. Whatever it was clear that the move was risky enough to make the internal staff tremble at the thought.